Okay, today we are going to go over the Unit 6 test review over factoring, laws of exponents, and adding and subtracting polynomials. So first, the first question, which expression is a factor? So if we put a 1 in front and we label it A, B, C, okay, then second step, we're going to multiply A times C. Don't forget the sign. So we have A times C equals a negative 18. Then I need my factors of 18. So I have 1 and 18. I have 2 and 9. I have 3 and 6. Okay, remember, we then need to find the winning pair that adds up to a negative 3. Since I'm adding to get a negative, my bigger factor is going to be negative, okay? The bigger factor always takes the sign of B. So then we're going to add. My factors that are going to give me negative 3 are positive 3 and negative 6. The next step, we set up our two fractions. We put ax at the bottom. So in this case, 1x is going to go at the bottom. At the top, we're going to have plus 3 and minus 6, our winning numbers. Since 1's at the bottom of both, they're not going to reduce, so we bottoms up. So then we go to our parentheses, so we have x plus 3, x minus 6. Then we look at our answer choices. The only one that shows up is A, x plus 3. Okay. Number 2, which expression is a factor? So in the middle, we could rewrite it as 25x squared plus 0x minus 64. So if I multiply 25 times 64, I get a very big number. But the thing you need to know about 25 and 64, they are both perfect squares. What that means is when I take the square root, I get a whole number. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to rewrite it. And I'm going to take the square root of 25. So if you're not sure what that is, you can go ahead and pull up Desmos and pull up the keyboard. The square root is this button by the ABC. So square root of 25 is just 5. So I'm going to have 5. Okay, then I'm going to take the square root of x squared, which is just going to give me an x. So I'm going to have 5x. Then I'm going to take the square root of a positive 64 because you can't take the square root of a negative. So when I take the square root of a positive 64, I get 8. Okay, so since the middle cancels out, I need a positive and a negative. So what I'm going to have 5x plus 8. And in the second one, I'll have 5x minus 8. So my expression that is a factor would be A. Okay, which expression is equivalent? So I'm going to go ahead and put the 1 where I need them. Label it A, B, C. So I'm going to multiply A times C. And I get negative 12. So I get 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. I'm adding to get a negative 1. Remember, the big factor takes the sign of B. So my big factor is going to be negative. The one that's going to give me negative 1 is 3 and negative 4. So I'm going to put 1x at the bottom plus 3 minus 4. So I'm going to have x plus 3, x minus 4. So my answer should be C. If I want to check, or if I wasn't sure how to work that problem, I could do it in Desmos by checking the answer choices and seeing which one overlaps. So I would put the original, so y equals, and then I would have x squared minus x minus 12. And then in the bottom, I could put the answer choices. So let's check C and make sure we're good. So y equals parentheses x minus 4. Oops. And then close the parentheses and open a new one, x plus 3. Oh, I forgot to put the 12 here. That's what it is. And they should overlap. Okay, so that's how you can check your answers, or put in all the answer choices and see which one crosses. Okay, so let's go to the next one. All right, this one, write an expression to represent the area of the figure below. So area of a rectangle is length times width. So we're going to take our length times our width. And I'm going to go ahead and use box method because that's what most of y'all use. So we're going to make our box. And remember, we multiply to fill in the box. I'm going to go ahead and put my exponents here. So I have 4 times 2, which is 8. I have 1x here, 1x here, so I have 2 x's total, so x squared. Then I'm going to go 4 times 2 again, so plus 8. This time I only have 1x. 3 times 2, so plus 6. I only have 1x, and then 3 times 2 is plus 6. I look for like terms, so these both have an x. Remember, we can think of the middle like a big plus sign. So I start in the left, 8x squared. 6x plus 8x is a plus 14x, and then plus 6. So that would be an expression for the area. Okay, so which expression is equivalent? So I'm going to go ahead and label A, B, C. I'm going to multiply A times C. So A times C is 6. So my factors of 6 are 1 and 6, 2 and 3. Everything's positive, so I'm going to add and try to get a positive 5. So 2 plus 3 is 5. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and set up my two fractions with ax at the bottom. So this time 3x is at the bottom. My plus 2 is at the top of one. My plus 3 is at the top of the other one. Okay, since my denominator is not 1, I'm going to check to see if these fractions reduce in Desmos. So I have 2 divided by 3. That one does not reduce. So this one's just going to go up. So we're going to have 3x plus 2. Then I'm going to check 3 over 3. 3 divided by 3. That gives me a 1. Remember, when you have a whole number, this number goes on top. So we're going to go mark out the top 3, and we're going to put a 1. And the 1 always goes at the bottom if it gives you a whole number. So then this is going to be x plus 1. So our answer should be B. Again, if you didn't know what to do, we could go through in Desmos and put the original in line 1. So y equals 3x squared plus 5x plus 2. And in line 2, we could put our answer choices. So if we try the first one, so we have x plus 1, x plus 2. That one doesn't match, so we know that's not good. So we can try B. So we have x plus 1, and then 3x plus 2. That one overlaps, so that's how we know it's the answer. Okay. All right, number 6. This is laws of exponents. Remember, if you see that fraction bar, that means we are dividing. So when we divide the coefficients, so the 12 and the 8, so we're dividing the coefficients, we subtract the exponents. Okay, so we're going to divide 12 divided by 8. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up in Desmos. So we have 12 divided by 8. I don't want the decimal, I want the fraction, so 3 over 2. Then I'm going to work through each variable. So x, so I have 5 minus a negative 3. Don't forget the double negative. Then for y, I have 7 minus 4. For z, I have negative 6 minus negative 2. So 5 minus negative 3 is going to give me a positive 8. 7 minus 4 is positive 3. Negative 6 plus 2 is going to give me a negative 4. Okay, so we have our fraction 3 over 2. The positives are going to go on top. So x 8, y 3. I don't want this to be negative, so it's going to go at the bottom as a positive. And that would be our simplified version of that original fraction. Okay, number 7. Find the area of a rectangular garden, or the area is given. We want to find the length and the width. So to do this, we're going to factor the original area. So we're going to put a 1 and label it A, B, C. Multiply A times C. So we're going to have A times C equals negative 80. So we're going to have 1 and 80, 2 and 40, 4 and 20, 5 and 16, 8 and 10. B is negative, so my big factor takes the sign. And I need a negative 2, so it's going to be 8 and negative 10. So I set up my two fractions, 1x at the bottom, plus 8 minus 10. The 1's at the bottom, so it's not going to reduce. So I have x plus 8 and x minus 10 as my two fractions. Okay. Number 8, we're using power of a power. Okay, so power of a power. Remember, that is like distributing to the exponents. Okay, so I'm not distributing this 2 to the 8. I'm distributing to the imaginary exponent of 1. So when I do that, I multiply. So I'm going to end up with 8 to the second, w to the 8th. Remember, 2 parentheses next to each other, you can put the little dot for multiply. And then this will be w to the 3rd. So to simplify this part, I simplify 8 squared, so I get 8 times 8, which is 64. When I multiply, I add my exponents. So I'm going to have W to the 11th. So it would be D. Okay. A circle has a radius of 5W7x4. And our area, we want the area, it's pi r squared. So the area of the circle, we need to plug this in for r. So we're going to have area equals pi times r squared, so our radius squared. Just like in the previous one, I need to put a 1 there. Okay, so we're going to have, let's pull out the radius. So 5 squared w to the 14th, because we're multiplying x to the 8th. So when I do that, I'm going to have 25 w14 x 8. All that's left is the pi. The pi is going to go right here between the 25 and the variable. So I'm going to have 25 pi w to the 14th x to the 8th. All right, this one, what is the perimeter? Perimeter means we are going to add. So we're going to add up all the sides. So I'm going to start here with x squared minus 2x plus 1 plus, since I'm adding, I don't need parentheses, x squared minus 2 plus x plus 3 plus 3x minus 4. Now I'm going to combine like terms. So I have 1x squared here and 1x squared here. So total, I have 2x squared, so I'm done with those. Then I have negative 2x plus a 1x plus 3x. So when I do that, I get a negative 2x. Or actually, that's positive, sorry. Done with those. Now I'm on my constants. So negative 2 plus 3 minus 4 is going to give me a negative 2. So my answer should be A. Okay, this next problem is for pre-AP. Okay, so if the perimeter, they give me the perimeter is this, what is the length of the missing side? So I'm trying to find that side. So what I need to do first, I'm going to add the sides I have. Okay, so I'm going to add up the 5x cubed minus x plus x squared minus 9 plus 2x squared minus 4x. So 5x3, that's only x3. Then I have a 1x squared and a 2x squared, so that's plus 3x squared. Then I have a negative 1x and a minus 4x, so that's going to be a minus 5x. Then I have that constant that's by itself, so minus 9. Okay, so now that I have that, step 2, I'm going to take the perimeter minus the sides. And I need to put the sides in parentheses. Okay, so this is going to go in parentheses. So I'm going to take our original perimeter. So 5x cubed plus 3x squared minus 4x minus 5 minus the side sum that we got. Okay, remember when you have a minus in front, we're going to have to distribute that negative 1 to all 4 terms. So we're going to have 5 x cubed plus 3x squared minus 4x minus 5. Negative 1 times 5 minus 5x cubed minus 3x squared plus 5x plus 9. So now I'm just combining like terms again. So I have a positive 5x cubed and a minus 5x cubed. So those are opposites. They're going to cancel. I have a 3x squared and a minus 3x squared. Same thing. I have a negative 4x and a positive 5x. That will give me a positive 1x. Then I have a negative 5 and a positive 9, which will give me a plus 4. So my missing side is x plus 4. Okay, which expression is equivalent to? So what we're going to do, we see parentheses, we need to distribute. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite the first term, 8m squared. I'm going to go to Desmos because we don't like fractions. And we're going to enter negative 2/3. Make sure you get out of the fraction times 3. So we get a negative 2m. And then we're going to do negative 2/3. I'm just going to erase that, times negative 5. I want that as a fraction because my answer choices are fractions, so that's 10/3. And it was positive. And then we have our plus 7m squared. Okay, so I have 8m squared, 7m squared, 15m squared. Nothing else has a like term. So my correct answer would be C. Okay, last one. We are just factoring again. So A, B, C. 9 times 4. So A times C equals 36. So my factors of 36, 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9, 6 and 6. B is a positive 12. Everything was positive. So 6 plus 6 is going to give me 12. So I'm going to set up my two fractions with ax, so 9x at the bottom, plus 6 at the top. Now I'm going to go to Desmos and reduce 6 over 9, or see if it reduces. It reduces to 2 over 3. So the top, remember, is going to be 2. The bottom will become 3. And then we bottoms up. So I have 3x plus 2, 3x plus 2. Or, since they're exactly the same, we have 3x plus 2 and we have it twice. I look over here, it's not there, so our answer is none of these.